Versus Metal podcast with Kyle Garrett. How you doing?
What's up, buddy? It's nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too. I
Been looking forward to this.
yeah, I've been enjoying your music. I
Thanks, man.
I really like if you want to listen to music and have like moving pictures in your head, your music is definitely a go-to for that. Just how the delivery and I love songs that have like long notes and like an arpeggiation behind it. The
Sure.
dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of that as well?
Yeah. As you can tell, for sure. Yeah. So we were just talking a little bit before, but I think that's a big a part of the pop punk influence in my background. That at least guitar work wise, that's definitely like what I lean into. I feel like it's like my gut reaction. That's what I want to hear all the time. So we actually had to pull back on it a little bit on that record. Um, but yeah, I love having that in there for sure. It just kind of fills it out without being too distracting. It just makes it sound kind of groovy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I saw on Apple Music there was a couple of questions that I guess somebody asked you and said, I guess it was three records that inspired you as a songwriter, and one was Blink 182.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Which
I got Blink tatted on my leg, man. Yeah. I grew up on early 2000s country and pop punk. That was where I was at. I found my dad's CD collection when I was really young, and Dookie was in there, and that quickly transpired to Blink 182, and then everything beyond that. I toured in a pop punk band for like 10 years before COVID, so that's pretty much who I am. You know, it, I'd say John Mayer is probably my biggest influence, if I'm being completely honest, as far as like songwriting and melodies and stuff like that. But yeah, Blink's where it's at, and I feel like I even still kind of I find myself sometimes the Tom DeLonge voice just when I'm speaking still kind of like peeks out every now and then. So yeah.
yeah, what's funny is I read that and I was thinking like I only know like Blink 182 radio songs. I was like I don't think I ever did a deep dive on them.
Oh man.
And then I pulled them up today, and it was I'm terrible at album names, but I knew all the songs. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah, I had these. I just don't remember buying them. They were probably Napster grabs.
Yeah. Different versions and stuff that were never released. That was so fun.
Yeah, dude, the one thing, like I have a very photographic memory, and the one thing, like I hate being like sounding like an old man, but I miss being able to physically hold it. Because you see the album art, you see you the track listing gets burned into my mind, and you get to read the credits. It was a more like in-depth experience of and like God, not my license, my allowance was $5 a week, and
Right.
CDs were 20. So you had to get a banger. So it was funny. It used to be the wall where they had like these booths where you'd go in and listen and be like, oh, okay, I'll buy that. But
Mm-hmm.
I do miss having that experience, because especially when I do these, because I'll be like, man, I really love that one song of yours, and you just
Right.
be like, oh yeah, I got a lot, buddy.
Yeah. Totally. And I still buy vinyls. I've got a nice little collection going. I just bought a record for the first time in probably a year. Yesterday or the day before, I saw this dude named Rustin Kelly. I was up in Nashville for Americana Fest, and he played just like an acoustic set, and his dad was on steel, and it was just so awesome. But he put out a new record a couple weeks ago, and I had to grab that one. It's just for me, it's like I'm an album guy. Like I'm a huge Taylor Swift fan, and like even her, whenever I put her on, I listen from the first song to the last song of the record. That being said, it's got to fit like a certain vibe. It's almost like modern day jazz, if that makes sense. Like not jazz music, but like it's got to have that chill, like homey, like I'm cleaning the kitchen vibe or whatever. So yeah, that's a huge part of life for me. Like it's very important for me to like find records that I love front to back. And total opposite end of the spectrum, Hudson Westbrook just put out that new record, and I've been listening to the shit out of that thing. It's like no skips, awesome record.
Yeah. Do you have like a top number one from beginning to end?
Number one album.
Yeah, like if like Like
Oh,
your perfect album from track one all the way to the end.
so one came to mind, and I'm hesitant to say it because I don't know if I will still feel the same way tomorrow. But Morning View Incubus came to mind.
Okay.
I love that record. A couple of John Mayer's records. Kings of Leon, Come Around Sundown is one of those records for me. Um, yeah, one of the Dixie Chicks records is in there for me. Yeah, it's kind of all over the place.
Yeah. I don't know if I ever heard Kings of Leon. That's
Oh,
something I have to listen. God love Incubus. When you said
yeah,
that, I was just made me go like, man, where have they been? Because
I just saw him in Nashville a couple months ago. It was killer.
really,
Yeah, yeah,
this like back then, man, they were definitely being spun in my car all the
oh, yeah.
time. That's like the last time I went to Texas. Thrice was playing next
Mm,
door, and it was I was we were hosting a party
mm.
at the White Elephant for the country versus metal thing, and I was like, man, that would be great to go over there because I liked a couple of those songs, and it's just the nostalgia. And then like everyone that left to go check them out came back. They're like, yeah, he did 3 songs, said my voice hurts, and left. I was like, that's.
What?
And I was just like, man, I'm kind of glad I stayed here. But yeah, Incubus, Pardon Me. My God,
Oh yeah.
I used to rock out to them. They have a lot of great songs,
Oh yeah.
and
Sure.
it's cool because like when you say that and like you hear your music, I love soundscapes. I,
Mm.
I love like big sounds and just like cool different things. Now when you record, do you record with the same drummer?
Nope. So this new record, the songs from the Canyon, there's only 4 tracks that are like produced, and they
Hmm.
were barely produced. It's pretty much just percussion on those, and that was all done just by the guy who was producing it. His name's John Wilson. He's a friend of mine in Houston, and they were in the process of building a home studio, so it was super DIY. The record before that was with the guy who is playing drums with me live currently. His name's Zach Grindle. So he did all those drums, and then I'm going in to cut some new stuff in a couple months, and I'm going to have a new drummer on that one. So
Yeah, like
it's been interesting.
I love the backseat driver.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like the song doesn't speed up and everything stays the same, but I love what the drummer does with the hi-hat and gives it like a double time feel.
Right,
And
totally.
yeah, there's a couple of songs where it'll either be the hi-hat or like the snare. And I love that. It just really adds like a cool it's probably like you said, like the pop punk coming out because I that and breaks.
Sure.
I love the tension and the release, and
Mm.
that's big in that genre. So maybe that's the bleed over from.
Definitely coming across there for sure. Yeah, that drummer is very dynamic. He's like a rock and roll tried and true drummer. So he plays super hard, super fast, and that's what we were going for on that record. It's actually funny. Have you had Tim Lightyear on?
Yeah.
Okay, so he produced the record that Backseat Driver's on, and he's going to be producing some new stuff for me coming up. But I went in thinking it was going to be like a really country album. Like I had written this batch of songs and sent him the songs, and he pretty much picked all the songs that I wasn't thinking I was going to record. And I was like, all right, man, I'm gonna follow your lead and do it. And I thought it was going to be like real country, like twangy, no electric guitar, hardly a bunch of steel. And obviously that's not what happened. And I'm super happy with the way it came out. It is way more authentic to myself, but yeah, it was fun, man. And so having Zach play drums on that one made a lot of sense for the vibe, I think.
Yeah, that's cool. Tim Leahy had something to do with it because he's a big soundscape atmospheric
Oh
type
yeah,
guy,
oh yeah,
and
for sure.
yeah, I
That makes sense. You vibe with it.
yeah dude, he's great. He came on here, man. I was asking him of like his sound of Shane Smith and the Saints, and he like got down on like his hands and knees, was like showing me his pedal board, and
Wow.
I was like, man, because that's like a top secret thing, like
Mhm.
you have your sound, like
Yeah,
it's totally like I feel like it's just like a code, like
yeah. I feel like he's always creating a new chain though. Like it's never the same, and that's what makes him him, and that's what makes him unique, because it's not like he's got this one sound that he sticks with. He's like
Yeah.
always pushing the envelope. Like it's always going one step further. Um, and a lot of producers are that way, of course, but him being such a talented musician as well, like I don't know, for me it takes it to this whole other level I didn't even really realize was like achievable to begin with.
Yeah. Now, are you primarily acoustic or play electric or both?
So I always played electric. I always played a telly in my rock bands, but nowadays I'm playing an acoustic. I've got this cool old. So my great uncle was a train conductor in the 60s and 70s, and he bought this Gibson LG2 like beginner guitar from Lowe's for like $93 in 1962. And I ended up inheriting that from him. So that's my main guitar right now, and I just love it. So it's the band wants me to pull out the electric every now and then, and I haven't gotten there yet, just because I love playing that guitar. But yeah, right now it's all acoustic.
Nice, dude. I didn't know Lowe's sold guitars.
Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. It's
Yeah,
so weird. I guess they had everything back in the day.
yeah. I'd be excited to go there and say, because every like Lowe's and Home Depot, like you have something to do. Your day is you have a job to do, and I just man. I'm just not a fan of those stores because.
Hey, I like the smell. I go every now and then when I got to go in there and buy some shit for the house. I can enjoy being in there because it smells good.
Yeah, well, like the lumber part.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's the only thing I like about going to the gas station is the smell of gas.
Hey, I can relate. I can definitely relate. Those gnarly smells that nobody likes, I enjoy most of the time.
Yeah, that's like on railroad ties when they get hot in the sun. They admit.
Oh,
like
do they?
Yeah, I guess it's
like petroleum.
I'm going to mispronounce. Probably they call it creosote or something. Or I know you're just not supposed to burn them.
Okay.
But I've been at numerous places where people were burning them. I'm like,
wow.
It's like, yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
Interesting. That sounds like some country shit. So I'm surprised that you, being where you are, has experienced that. I guess in my head, I don't picture Delaware as people doing country shit like they do down here.
Yeah, my buddy, he had an empty pool, and we'd fill it up, a big empty concrete pool, and fill it up with picnic tables and all kinds of wood, and just have these huge fires.
Wow.
But because I grew up, it's called Landenberg, and there's a heavy Amish population out there, but it was like I didn't grow up in I guess it's weird. I've been all over the tri-state area. I just feel like where I went to high school was where I tell people I'm from, but
I got you.
It was different. It's funny. It's my mom always say like, yeah, my kids don't know that they're Hicks.
Okay.
And I'm like, what does that mean?
That checks. Yeah.
But yeah, well, yeah, I know railroad ties me because I work for the railroad.
You did.
I do. Yeah.
Oh, you do. Cool. Nice.
Yeah. Not a lot of people know that.
Right on.
It's fine. Like I don't really tell a lot of people. There's an actual department that scours the internet to see what people are saying about where I work, and people have gotten in trouble. I've gotten in trouble. It was wild because I guess like sometimes we have like high profile people come in, and like you gotta pass like a Secret Service thing. It's like, just pay me, I'll stay home.
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, it's cool. It's this why I never gave music a chance, because I need benefits. That's
sure.
My dad, my grandfather, his dad, they all worked for the railroad, so I didn't break the cycle.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's so relatable though, because like I've done a couple stints of like, I've never had I guess I had one job like right out of. So I graduated high school early and moved to Austin to go to a trade school. And right after that, I took like a call center job, and I had benefits and stuff. But it was the worst thing I've ever experienced. So I was there for 6 months, maybe. But I've had a couple other stints with like salary positions with no benefits, but like I have the stability of the income or whatever. And like I thought every time that it would feel so much better, but somehow whenever I've then transition back out of that into this career thing that I'm trying to do currently and in the past as well. I've like ended up making more money, and I guess what I'm saying is I don't know if I'm just lucky or if like my work ethic is truly paying off or what, but it's been like rewarding and terrifying and confusing how like well things have worked out, you know? Like I'm in this weird place right now where, you know, I'm going to play over 100 shows I'm going to get paid to play over 100 times this year. I'm not really selling tickets to shows. So there's like an imposter syndrome element to that where it's like, I'm not like popular like or cool or whatever, you know, but like I am paying my bills fairly easily as a musician. And like even 3 years ago, because coming from the rock world, there's no money, right? So we were touring nationally all year long, making $0. Like we'd have to go play acoustic shows at Urban Outfitters during the day just to be able to afford a hotel room that night. So yeah, I don't know. It's just such a strange, I guess, chain of events that have led to like this, what I would have, I guess, even currently considered success. I don't know. It's just crazy. Like every day I wake up and I'm like, holy shit, I don't have to go to work today. This is so weird.
Yeah.
You know? Sorry, that was a tangent, but
oh, it's cool, dude. I know exactly how you feel, and I know like, man, like I know you say you were TM and everything, and the one thing I found that I could make the most money on was merch, and I mean I bought like 1,500 t-shirts.
Yeah.
And I was getting them made for, it was like $2.94 a piece.
Wow.
And I was selling them for $30. Yeah. And I was making all this money. And I just remember like nobody in the band kind of knew. And like anytime, like people don't realize like people love raffles. They love the lottery. And they like the drummer would be throwing out heads and everything. I'm like, no, everybody sign this. And we're going to raffle it 10 for the length of your arm. You know, you get a girl to walk around and sell raffle tickets. That head that you're going to throw out could sometimes make $300.
Right.
And man, I just remember the band broke up and the one guy went on his own and he's like, hey man, because I kept files of like, I have, you know, the venues we went to, notes is something was weird or something was good, just so like you had an idea if you wanted to go there again. And like even how like the personality wise with fans and everything. And he was like, hey, can I get a shot at those notes? And I just remember him looking at the amount of money I made off the t-shirts. He's like, dude, what how come we didn't see this money? I said I asked everybody to invest in it. I used my own money, and you know, I got the logo done. I did everything myself. And I said, dude, it paid for everything. I was like, all the times we each had our own room. That was from t-shirt sales. Right. If not, we would have been in a Super 8 with army cots sleeping with each other, you know, and it would be just peanut butter and jelly. Cause that's what scared me the first out of music is my buddy was managing a pretty popular band around town. And they were like begging for change. They had a record deal. They had a song in a video game. They had a song in a movie. And they were like, yeah, we have to pay that back. Like we're eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and we just need money to get to our next show. And it's just like, wow, that really scared me. And you know, like the guy if you get sick, and if you have to, God forbid, you jump off stage, no one catches you. You got to go to the hospital. Like that was my thing. I was like, man, because I got an opportunity. I got asked to join a pretty popular band. I was like, man, I'll take it, and my pen is just going to burst. And it's that leap it's a leap of faith. It's just it gets frustrating because like. Think of all the people that didn't take that are amazing artists and how much music and stuff that we've totally missed. And then there's also people that have done it and just they never got their time or the right people didn't see them and promote them. And it's to be a musician, people think it's, just partying and hanging out and everything. I'm like, dude, it's so not that, especially like when it's it's Kyle Garrett. It's your name. You know what I mean? And you're responsible for the well-being of the people that you bring out. It's
Right.
super stressful.
Yeah. Yeah, traveling in itself is hard. Like anybody who's ever been on a family vacation even knows how difficult traveling is, and we're doing it all the time. But another thing, I never really thought about it like this until right now. But you were talking about like benefits and stuff. Um, my recent sobriety is that's kind of my insurance policy. Even if the other guys are like getting hammered or whatever, you and I obviously have a similar brain. I feel like that's some sort of unique thing where we think about things analytically and keep records of everything and kind of have that tour manager mindset. So that's an advantage I have that I don't take for granted. But I feel like being sober just allows me to stay on top of things a little bit better and then not let those little small things slip through the cracks, like staying in a hotel room with the band and not realizing that it was paid for by money that the band made. Like that's something that could so easily be overlooked. And I don't know, I feel privileged, but also like I feel like I do have somewhat of an advantage to be able to just kind of view things in that way. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting. It is a crazy leap. I mean, you're making me think about how much I'm putting on the line, and I somehow I don't think about that often. To me, it's always just been like this is the only thing I can do because I'm not good at anything else. And I also really just think I am pretty good at this.
Yeah.
So, maybe I'll never meet the people or whatever, but like I said, I'm paying my bills, I'm making ends meet. Maybe one day I won't be, and then I'll have to figure some shit out. But it's like the grind fuels me, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Keeps me going.
It's fun. It's
Yeah,
nice to not hate what you do
sure.
for money.
Yeah,
And like if you have a really good mindset, man, and if you have a group of guys that have the same mindset, it's just all about like putting the work in and just having the entrepreneurial. I always mispronounce that. You can't put that in somebody. I've
right, right.
tried that go get it spirit. If you have a bunch of dudes that are like that, and you just put the work in, you find what works for you and just keep on doing it, man. You're definitely gonna have a lot of a better experience because like it got to the point where I was like going up to like the hotel clerks and being like, can I just pay the smoking fee up front?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna hit me 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks later down the line. It's gonna drain the band account, and I'm just gonna be thinking that like, hey, we could have upgraded. And they're like, well, it's a non-smoking room. I'm like, I know that.
Mm,
The two people over there, listen, lady, let me just say, like, let me pay it up front. And it's just they'd be like putting baggies over stuff. I'm like, dude, just go outside. I was like, we're staying in cheaper motels and hotels to make money, and we could stay at the suite in the Hampton Inn, like the Holiday, the entire top floor for the amount of some places. And it's just like, I mean, when you go to places like New York, that is like some cities they do not mess around with that. And I get it, you got to put an ozone machine in there and just
right.
do like a deep clean. But man, like but if you get some guys behind you that are like, yeah, let's go out, let's have fun, let's make
Yeah.
money, let's get our music out there. That's
I've been pretty blessed with guys that I at least work well with throughout my whole musical journey. I had the first group of dudes in the metal bands in high school and stuff, and we did a little bit of touring, and everybody was pretty responsible in that group. And then I had the pop punk days, and everybody in that group was really motivated, and everybody was drinking and having a good time, but it wasn't anything that we couldn't handle.
yeah,
And nowadays, my current group, they party pretty hard, but it's totally manageable, and I think it's a little bit more manageable now that I'm sober. Um, and yeah, I guess all that to say, I've been pretty lucky, I think, with the guys that I've found. Everybody's on the same page all the time, and maybe that's because I set expectations, or maybe that's just because everybody wants the same thing at the end of the day. So it's cool. You definitely got to put in the work to find the guys, but once you do, things, you can tell when things are kind of firing on all cylinders, you know, and
Yeah.
that's just like, I guess that's my comfort zone. Whenever it's there and everybody's just ready to rock, then it's kind of plays itself out.
Yeah, and it's nice when you do find like a more on the permanent side, because when people come to see your band, it's
Right.
always nice to see the same guys,
100%.
which I never really that never really, like, bigger names that used to be huge, like when singers or guitar players would change, but like a local band, that never really, until you start becoming a fan, and then you develop like a relationship, and it's a situationship where you go, and it's nice when you become a fan of a band and they become a fan of you being there, and you
Right.
get to know the name, and then like when you go to another show and you're like, what's going on, where's everybody that I know? And I guess, I mean, obviously the band name's never going to change if you're not. Like it's not going to be Kyle Garrett and you're not there.
Right. Right.
We're like, oh, dang, this is his cousin. It's just the same, but it stuff like that does matter, and it is nice to have a constant type thing. I have found that, because
It's important to me for sure. Yeah, I mean, I've got my three dudes, and I'm still getting used to the world of fill-ins, because like back in the rock world, that didn't exist, and there wasn't any money to pay musicians. We were all in it together, grinding it out or whatever. I've had to get fill-ins for a couple shows, and it's definitely not my favorite thing, just because we're so tight and we practice and everything sounds good, and I know what to expect when I've got the band. But that's a whole industry in itself out there, is fill-in musicians, and then like a lot of these, my level all the way up to the big guys in this Texas Americana, whatever you want to call it, red dirt thing, have fill-ins all the time, and that I don't understand how you can be comfortable doing that, because it's like I guess somebody who's good enough can learn the parts exactly, but it's not the same energy on stage, so it's still a totally different experience for me and for the other guys on stage whenever you've got to fill in. So I don't know if I'll ever get used to that or comfortable with it, but it's, I mean, like you said, it's real. There's so many, like even out on the road with Bree, she had like her core band, but there was always like a rotating fifth guy. And sometimes the guitar player couldn't make it, so she'd have a fill in, and then having to work with that person wasn't like bad. It was just not the same. So that is like the only constant in the music business is your band, the people that your crew. So whenever there's one person different, then it like totally throws off, at least for me, maybe I'm just dramatic, but it feels like it just totally changes everything. And like, I don't know, it's hard. It's really hard for me to settle into that.
Yeah, especially when you're like, when you're a guitar player and like he's really feeling it out, and you just look over and say, go a couple more bars.
Exactly. Yeah,
like,
you could just look at him. You don't have to say anything. Yep.
Yeah, like he's going to crush it, and he's really in the moment. And he just, and that's what keeps live music.
Exactly.
Like you can be in those moments where, like, man, did you hear the solo they played on that song? And it just, but you may never ever play it that way again.
Yeah, totally.
That's like, I just saw Cody Jinks twice, and man, the one song, Ain't a Train, the one night in Baltimore, it was like, holy shit, like they crushed it. Mm-hmm. I don't know like what the difference was, or maybe they were just like locked in because it was great the night before. I think because I was thinking like I don't even remember if they played it the night before, but man, like it stopped me in my tracks, and just because I was like kind of like walking to get another drink, and I was like, dude, and man, you could tell they were going back and forth, and I was like, I love this, man. Like, it's so cool because like it's funny, like I don't like crowds. When people are like, what are you doing in the back there? Like, we'll get you on the list, we'll get you up front. I'm like, that's not where I want to be, like, and I've had a chance, like I was on the rail, and Trudio came on, and I was like, well, you can take my spot. I've
I'm
been
not
doing
trying to get in the face with a water bottle.
Yeah. And it's fine. That's I know what I'm there for, and I know the responsibility. I'm not going to expect that nothing is going to happen. So I just kind of like just rolled out of the way and just watched everybody else go insane. And it's
Yeah.
totally fine. But yeah, like I it, I really enjoy like 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 live shows now, like more than ever, because like the guy like listening to your music and listening to all these music, like it's like still
Mm.
personable. Like like I used to go to like Metallica and the Deftones and Alice in Chains and all these huge names, and it's just like you're not up there, like you're not breathing the same air as your
Right.
favorite artist, and I've been loving that so much because when you're close enough and you see like the lead singer lock eyes and just go hell yeah dude, and I love that because it's happened a couple times and it's just like yeah it just like it reignited a new love because like I said, like man, it's just like cattle shoots and lines when I go
Mm.
see like the old guys I used to listen
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
because and it's weird, like I don't even listen to them anymore. I put
You're a
on
full country guy nowadays.
yeah, it's funny like what you do
Mm.
and the red dirt and all that, that is a change that I've been wanting for quite some time. Like the last band that I ever really I liked Lamb of God, and of course I like Pantera and all. Like I consider them old, but they're not old. But all like the new guys, like it was a band called Soilwork, and it was like different. It was like melodic, and
Mhm.
it just had different elements. I like groove and stuff. That's why I was a huge Sepultura fan. Like I love interesting rhythms and just stuff like that. And Meshuggah was definitely one of my favorite bands. But man, like your sounds, like that was so easy for me to still have all the cool sounds I like, but like you get a story.
Yeah,
Like like I get to know you without actually having to talk to you,
that's
and just
cool. Yeah.
yeah, it's a really cool thing. And I keep saying it, like I need to start doing where I just sit down and listen to like songs in a row, because I always try to like break it up to keep it like a more like I haven't heard this in a while and just remember stuff I liked. But man, like your latest record, it's just like just turn on the field recorder and go.
Yeah.
And that's cool because that's how I used to record.
Right.
Like you hear the wind and everything, and it just you with your acoustic, and sometimes I feel like you can hear like a fire going in the background.
Mm. I don't know if there was any fires, but there was definitely all kinds of. So we were like, you probably heard the river. We were like
Oh,
literally on a
okay,
canyon right on the Rio Grande, on the 100 yards away from Mexico.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what I appreciate about with your acoustic playing is you don't play with a thin pick.
Dude, I should, man. I play guitar way too hard.
Dude, I can't stand that clacking sound.
I play it like a drum, though. Yeah, I mean, I
Dude, I
feel
love
you.
it. That's
Yeah.
how I like how it's played.
Okay. Right on.
Is like, but on the other end, I've always been meaning to ask like Shane Smith of what he had, but he plays so fast, it
Mm.
kind of becomes like a tambourine.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
doing like songs like some of your songs, you do some light picking on like more arpeggiation, just slow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
To hear that extra clack, that it drives me bonkers. I don't know what it is. It's just
Okay.
something I can't unhear it. But with you, like you said, you play it hard, and it just it gives it like dynamic.
Yeah.
Like when your vocals are going hard and your playing's going hard, it's just cool.
Yeah, the
It,
wave, for sure.
yeah, I do enjoy that because there's a lot of acoustic artists that it's just like
The same, for sure. And like that's
yeah
the studio thing, and I get it. I guess the thing that bothers me about it on my record is like some of those parts where I'm singing a little bit more like intimately or emotionally, I'm still playing the shit out of the guitar. And it's like, what are you doing, man? Like I guess I just am, obviously I'm criticizing myself harder than anybody else, but sometimes I wish that I played a little softer. Like I'm good at the finger picking thing, or not good, but I can finger pick kind of. Um, but whenever I got the pick in my hand, it's just like 100% balls to the wall all the time.
Yeah.
So that's cool to hear that you like it though, because that makes me feel a little bit better about it.
Yeah. That's like, man, there was a popular band back in the day that the guy used whenever they played acoustic. I just hear the Guster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was Guster. I was like, oh, it's, like, it's just like an extra artifact that just drives me bonkers. But do you remember like specifically, like, is there a song or like when was the moment where you're like, this is what I want to do with music? Did you ever? Which is funny because Jared Morris told me he hates this question. And I was just always like, I'm always interested because when people have like a song, I'm always interested in.
Yeah, I really don't, to be honest. I mean, I could say a John Mayer record to get some brownie points with Jared Morris. I mean, it probably was that, to be honest. I mean, I don't know if there's a specific song. There had to have been a moment at some point that like made me kind of open my eyes to the world of like production and recording and all that stuff. Because as a kid, that's what I thought I was going to be an engineer in the studio, and that didn't pan out just because I didn't want it to. You know, other people are better at that than me, so I'm going to let them do that. You know, it's funny because that's such a common question, I feel like, and it's a great question, but I don't know if I've ever been asked that. You know, for some reason I'm thinking of, so like on my PS2 when I was a kid, you could like, or maybe it was an Xbox 360 or something, but I was probably like 10, 11 years old, and you could like put a flash drive in and add music to the hard drive on the console. And the two records that were on there was Hello Hurricane by Switchfoot and Battle Studies, John Mayer. And I want to say that was probably like 2009, 2008, maybe. And something about that era is where my brain always takes me back to, just like hearing that. Same thing with Kings Leon, that Come Around Sundown record, which came out later. But the sonics of those albums were just like mind blowing to me. It was just like, I just want to go in a studio and stay there forever. Like I want to create all these crazy sounds and then I want to throw them all away and do it all again, you know? And there's been tons of records like that since, like the Hudson record. To me, that record is like a masterpiece because it's produced with all this like early 2000s. Like it gives me like Keith Urban early vibes and like all these cool things, but it's also so modern at the same time. So that was a long-winded way of saying I don't really know, but there was definitely a moment at some point.
Yeah. Are you like a tone and like just like Sonic and
well, you know,
like
as a bystander, 100%. For me, I've gotten pretty good about like letting somebody else lead that. I have this weird thing where I always feel like, and I can't think of any instances right now to like verify this, but I've had these like weird verifying moments of like I think something of mine, whether it be like a work tape or a mixed and mastered recording, sounds like lower quality than like the standard radio mix. Like if you were to put even like Backseat Driver, for example, if you were to like play that on mainstream radio, I feel like the quality of it just doesn't compete just sonically. I feel like it doesn't compete. So, but I've realized that that's just my brain playing tricks on me. You know, that like I have many reasons to believe that record sounds amazing, and I've heard tons of other stuff Tim's done, and like I know that it sounds just as good as anything else that's out there. But I've always kind of struggled with that for some reason. Like I always feel like, you know, my voice, like I feel like my pitch is pretty good, and people have told me that a lot. But I feel like my voice is not just there, and I also recognize that I don't have like a crazy characteristic voice the way some singers do. Like Stapleton has all that crazy shit going on that makes his voice like super unique. I don't necessarily have that, or maybe I do, but in different ways. So I don't know. I don't even know if I answered your question, but for some reason that reminded me of this weird like phenomenon I've kind of always dealt with. It's just like your own worst critic, I guess you could simplify it to that. I don't know.
Yeah, and what I love about your music is if it was on the radio, it would sound different. I definitely feel it just sounds more real. You know what I mean? Because like everything on the radio that I hear, and some people they'll give me a name I never heard, and I can tell. Like I always hate saying like Nashville, but like
Sure.
they compress and it's just like let's see how far to the clip line we can get. You know, and it's just like, come on, man.
Right.
I like space. I
Right.
like having this sound louder than the other, and it's just man, everything on the radio, it's all, and then it's just like, oh, let's just double the vocals because that's what the last thing worked, and it's just like going to that. Like, I love tones. I love like sonics. A
Yeah.
lot of people say Van Halen's Balance record isn't a Van Halen record because it has different sounds. I think that Don't Tell Me What Love Can Do is one of the greatest guitar tones ever. You can like eat it. It's just like jing 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 jing. And I loved what Eddie did with his sound, like Unchained, where he just used the flanger, like,
Mm.
and it's just yeah, that's sonically and just his guitar. Like when he came out with his 5150s, I was like, Dad, I want one. You know, and he's like, you ain't getting none. And like he saw how big it was. He's like, there's no way. And I'm like, my sister does gymnastics. That's like $1 million a month. This
Right.
is a one-time purchase.
Right.
It'll last forever. I still have it. Probably needs to be recapped. It's in the basement, but every once in a while I'll turn it on.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, you know, you pick it up and you hear it, you're like, I have no more excuses. And yeah, like the Sonic, I loved Pink Floyd, and I never found anybody that gave me that feeling of like the harmonies and just the big, you know, just the movement of it. And then
Right.
you hear Hail Mary by Shane Smith and the Saints, and like Tim Lightyear's guitar player, and I was like, whoa, that was to find them and to hear it, and it's done in such a different way, a different approach, but still has like stuff that I like. But I've always like a cool album with just big sounds and just different. Like like I love what you do because that's just you know like because pop punk you know, and then and somebody else is arpeggiating. It's just that is like right up my alley, and I love how you do it in a way that it's also like the one a lot of people I haven't heard it in a while, but Heartbreak Motel, the duet, I love it. That duet, that guitar, dude.
That was all Tim. Yeah, he's a fucking mad scientist, dude.
It was so good. I was the first time I listened to it, I was like, dude, it's been because it's been a while. Duets were like the bomb. Like when people say like, what's the greatest solo ever? And they'll go Freebird. I'm like, as a musician, I'm gonna have to say it's a duet. Sorry to be like the Karen, but you know, and they're like, okay, then Hotel California. I'm like, oh, that's another duet, technically. But
I got to give Tim all the credit for that. I think what happened was we wanted it because it's the last track and it's the title track, so we wanted to make it a little epic. And I was like, I don't want to just go back into the chorus again to wrap up the song.
Yeah.
And so we pondered for a while of like what to do, and then Tim like laid down probably 20, you know, because it's a long solo. It's like like 32 bars, like really long. So we were like, so we just cut it in half and end it, but then it goes to all these like crazy chord changes, like Eagles vibes, like weird, you know, sevenths and stuff. And so yeah, Tim rearranged those chords and then was like, all right, I'm just gonna do 2 solos. And then they ended up like chopping him up a little bit, and then he just scratched all that and then went back and just like battled himself, and it was so sick.
Yeah, like no, I don't feel people do that enough anymore.
Yeah,
because
it's cool, man.
It's definitely
country. Shit was rock and roll.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. That's yeah. I think that album and all those songs sound awesome. They have that cool, like it's just got like the big sound where like man, it's like a big soundscape where just and like with just how smooth your voice is and with the instruments and just the arrangement, you can if you get in your head, it's very cinematic. And I love that. And like your style is definitely like it's so easy for me to listen to and love because like for years everything sounded the same. I thought, and everything just felt like we put this here because that's you know it. After this comes the bridge, and it's just like, does that really add? You know, and every metal band had to have that breakdown. It just started feeling so unorganic. It was just like, hey, this is the part of the song where you know at our shows everyone's just gonna when we're all and when bands like when they like start synchronizing their headbang, I'm like, dude,
Crabcore, dude.
I'm like, that's boy band stuff.
Yeah.
You know, fill it out. Have your own. I do. It's funny. Like people are like, why does that bother you? I'm like, I don't know. It feels like choreography. Like they practice that.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like,
I get it. It's showmanship, and people like it historically. And I mean, they still. I mean, shit. Warped Tour growing up, that was the thing. I never got into it, but I totally understand it. But it's this. That's the same thing as the Nashville thing, chasing what works and just rinse and repeat. You know.
Yeah.
I just personally have never been like I probably listen to I've been made fun of for sure for listening to my own music. Usually I'll wear out a record once it's done, and then won't listen to it for many years. But like I'm making, and this I don't feel like this is unique anyway. But I'm truly making music and writing songs that I want to sing along to.
Yeah.
So it's never for me been, and that's I think why it's been easy for me to go in the studio and let a producer like Tim just take it away and push it to its fullest limits, because it's like I don't want it to sound like this record or that record. And sure, we'll have like references here and there, but like I don't want it to sound like, I don't want you to listen to it and be like, oh, I can tell he listened to a lot of this. You know, I just want it to sound like something really freaking cool. And that's it.
Oh, dude, it definitely comes out like that.
Yeah. Oh, good.
No, I was going to say, like, I think it's a great thing to listen to your own music.
Yeah.
And that for your band to listen to it too. So when you look over and go, how's the song start? You know, with the words, because that happens. And I used to get embarrassed because I'd be like, dude, I don't listen to our stuff.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
I do that all the time. I forget words and look at the guitar player and he'll mouth the words.
Yeah, it's nice to be that guy where you're like, hey, you know, it's why you pay me. It's why you even fired me. I know all the words.
Right.
Well, the first sentences. You know, that and man, you if you listen to your own music over and over and over again, like you just know it better, if that makes any sense. You know, like
I kind of feel like a psychopath sometimes because I'll listen to it so much like as if it's gonna change almost, or like I'm gonna notice something new, and like maybe a couple passes you might notice like, oh, here's like this cool little thing that I never noticed before. But after like the 50th time, nothing's gonna change. It's gonna be the same thing, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know why I listen to it so much, but I've always been that way. Like anything I've ever written, even like work tapes on my phone, I'll listen to like a lot. And that makes a little bit more sense, I guess, because you're like trying to produce it in your head and, you know, figure out different arrangements or like ways you can change the melody and stuff. But even that, only a certain amount of times can you like make any progress, and beyond that, you're just being a lunatic.
Yeah.
Or just truly enjoying the song, I guess.
Yeah, and if you can't listen to your own music, then you probably made it just to make money.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, just to be like, hey, I put the cogs in the machine, and here comes the money train, and you know that's why I don't get like there's people that do that, and it's just like, man, you're not living life yourself. Right. I couldn't imagine hearing my own song and just be like, oh, that's that part Gary made me do.
Yeah,
that's the part that they told me I had this great solo and they said it was too long. It's 32 bars, make it 16. And it's like, yeah, why would you ever want to do that? Like you said, like, hey man, this solo gets 32 bars. All right, bounce it down. Let's do it. I like it because I'm gonna be listening to it in my car. You know, you got to do the car test. If you can ride around listening to your own album as loud as your stereo can go with no skips, pass. Yeah. You know, that's the kind of music that I want to make, that you can just jam out, and when people go, hey, who are you listening to? You go, me.
That's hilarious. Just driving down the highway with your windows down.
I need to know your name.
Yeah, put on my own T-shirt. Like, here you go.
And hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's what's it that Zach Wild does? Zach Wild's all patched up with Black Label Society, and he's just, somebody asked him, and he said, hey, why do you you wear your band stuff? You got these patches. He goes, just in case I forget what band I'm in. You know, it was a pretty funny answer, but
That's
like, yeah, he definitely wears everything that his band makes, which,
yeah,
hey, it's just like, for a while, like I loved listening to Zach Wild. I love Black Label Society. I had no idea Zach Wild was a singer because they never really, if they put it on MTV, I never seen it. And then I remember, once like YouTube came out, and I was like, wait a minute, there was a lot of like Alexi from Children of Bodom. I had no idea. I'm like, dude, this dude's doing all this and singing. It was really cool because like, if they weren't in like Metal Edge or some type of, it was a lot harder back in the day when you didn't have your YouTube, and then
Right.
MTV became the real world and all these reality TV shows that I just didn't.
Silent Library, dude, that was my shit. Do you remember that show?
What was it?
Silent Library. They were like groups of teenagers in a library, and they had to like do stupid things to like try to make each other laugh, and you just couldn't laugh. Basically, you had to like be quiet while ridiculous stuff was happening around you.
No, I don't remember that. I remember some of the old reality ones I did like was they had a show called Con. There was this guy like how to like do stuff, and like he would con people over. He conned his way into singing the national anthem, and he couldn't sing. And
oh man, that's awesome. Just
like stuff like how to get out of parking tickets, and then what was the one, Buzzkill? That was another one that they did a bunch of crazy stuff, and those were the cool ones.
There was that one, I guess we're probably slightly different generations, but there's one where like the parents would like set up the kid on 2 different dates while they were in a relationship to try and get the kid to leave their current shitty partner.
No.
They would, I can't remember what it was called.
It sounds like something I'd watch though.
It was hilarious and so stupid, but they would like go on a date with 2 other people that the parents like interviewed. And oftentimes they would like, I'm sure it was scripted or whatever, but oftentimes they would leave their current partner, like break up with them because they were going to start dating this other person that their parents set them up with.
It just reminded my aunt. She always wanted kids, and she wanted a good boyfriend that was good with kids. So she would be like, all right, you're going out with this guy. He's going to take you out, to the water park or whatnot. And just, it's just would be like, so how was it? We got a father material here, I just remember. I just remember my mom's best.
That's crazy.
Yeah. My mom's best friend was talking about, oh, I wish I could have kids. I wish I have kids. They just seem like a lot, blah, blah. I just, I wonder what it'd be like. And my mom's like, just take Patrick. Where are you going this weekend? She's like, oh, we're going to the beach. So take Patrick. Just gave me to him and just said, just see if you like having a kid at the beach. And they ended up having kids. So I must
you develop a little bit.
Yeah. I was like, okay. All right. Well, just, I guess I'll see you later.
You still in touch with any of those dudes?
Huh?
You still in touch with any of those dudes?
I mean, I don't. But my mom, yeah, she probably still talks to him. I haven't. That was so long ago. It's funny. There's a funnier part of that story, but it would get me in a lot of trouble. Like I found out something I could do with something that I shouldn't have shown everybody when I was little, and showed everybody on the beach, and yeah. They're like, pull your pants back up. It's like,
that just reminded me. I mean, I imagined what you were talking about, but I just I was talking to Tim the other day. I went up to his place to write a song, and I was talking to him a little bit about this imposter syndrome thing and how sometimes I feel like I'm not country. And then like later in the conversation or later in the day or the right, I told him this story that my mom had just told me. And whenever I was in Montessori school, so I was probably like 4 years old or something like that, I like pulled my pants down and peed on the playground. And they like came running out and yelling at me, and I was like, I didn't know what I was doing wrong because I was just taking a country pee, and he was like,
Yeah.
"You're country, bro. Like if you thought that was normal, then you fit right in."
Yeah. That's funny.
Very funny. Yeah.
Yeah, like you're a kid, you don't think anything of it.
Nah, not at all.
That's all day when you're driving by the Amish fields. Just that's all.
Mhm.
Everybody just out there, just wherever you're at. It's like, oh, nice. Or some places in the city.
Dude, this is a little much probably, but I was at Yellowstone probably 4 or 5 years ago with some friends. Have you been out there before?
No.
So you've probably seen pictures of it, but one of the big things there is this Grand Prismatic Spring. It's like a hot spring that like changes colors around the edge because of the temperature. And so you walk out from the parking lot and there's like this elevated dock thing that like you can walk all the way around. And we were walking out and hardly like we had just gotten to the spring, and this woman like leaned under the ledge and like grabbed it kind of, so she was like squatting off of it, like on top of the spring, and pulled her pants down and took a shit right into the spring. And I was like, she was an Asian woman, so I was like initially like, oh, it's cultural, like no big deal. But I've never been able to get that image out of my head just because like it didn't even like scar me. It's just like so fascinating because it's like, what situation are you in? Like I would shit my pants. There's no way I would ever do that.
Yeah, they could kick it out of pant. Like you're just like standing there and being like, man, it's the nature, the beauty. This natural. It's just absorbing in this natural phenomenon and colors you'll never see anywhere else. And
too much to handle.
Somebody had Taco Bell.
Yeah, crazy.
That's nuts.
We've derailed quite a bit. I was thinking about you were talking about like you get a story and stuff, and like I've never. So my music on like the Heartbreak record compared to like all my stuff previously didn't really change much as far as like structurally and like lyrically. But so the songs from the Canyon record, which is the newest one, that was like a totally different approach for me because I wanted to tell stories in a way that I guess at least thought I had never had before. So that's a big reason why I recorded it the way I did, because it's like, live. It's not even like a live studio thing. It's like just straight up an iPhone recording me playing.
Yeah.
So I basically wrote all those songs based on like real events that happened. There was one, or I guess two. There's a cover on the record that just happens to be like one of my favorite songs, if not my favorite song of all time. And then one other song I wrote with a friend like 10 years ago, and I just felt like it was a good time to bring that back. But every other song on the record is like some real thing that happened to me. So I basically like challenged myself to do that, to like take the like turnpike approach and like write songs about real things that I can explain. And I don't know if I'll ever like do that again, but I feel like I got it off my shoulders, and I like set a goal for myself and did it. And I'm not even really like pushing that record, like people have streamed it and I've gotten great feedback on it, and that's awesome. But it's cool to like know that I can do that.
Yeah.
I guess if I ever need to, like another part of it is like you always think of these guys who are like in metal bands that are like creating these crazy soundtracks that are not metal by any means for like the biggest movies in the world, or like all these movies recently who have been contracting like Texas country artists like Flatland and Tanner and all these people to like write songs for movies. Like that's something I never could have considered that I could do. Like the pressure of that just seems like I would crack, so I guess that was kind of reassuring to me and my own like musical abilities to be able to like make not just one song but like a whole project of tunes that are about something. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and people that love the singer-songwriter, they don't care how to record it.
Sure.
If the material of the song is great, man, they'll blow that thing up, and they'll listen to anything. That was the one thing I really, with the people that are like obsessed with that, of like hearing the lyrics over anything else. Like something like that, like you could record it on anything. That was like the phenomenon with Zach Bryan just being on a tailgate, just singing a song, and it's just like it's a terrible recording, it's a terrible video, But
Yeah.
like people, the talent shines through,
Mm.
and like absolutely, like you know what I mean. Like you'll listen to it, and when you hear it again, you're like, oh, you hear like the wind, you know, like. But when you're focused on what you're saying, it's definitely like that's all you hear. And I really thought it was cool. It was definitely like I was like this stuff like I like when you're like you hear that you're the echo and everything. It's just
Yeah.
like press play and go. And
Right.
I, it's definitely like how like back in the day how I loved like Metallica did Garage Days. It's
Mm.
a terrible recording, but you get to hear them like start and stop and like all right, let's try that again. You know, it's like authentic. It's really cool when you like an artist and they do something like that. They put out of like here's me legit, like you said, like right by the water, and you just put your phone down and you just go. It's
Mm.
cool. It's and like you said, it was focusing on the songs and like it is nice that you can do something like that and your fans would be like hell yeah, like you
Yeah.
get
Yeah, it was very like cathartic for me, like getting like inking those songs because like previously there wasn't a project for them really because they're just so vulnerable in a way that like all songwriting I believe is pretty vulnerable because you have to like even just using words that you wouldn't normally say in your typical day to day usage is like an uncomfortable thing to do. Um, but this just took it to another level. It was like, singing about like one of the songs is about my relationship with my dad, which is really bad. And another one was about like uh, being in a relationship with someone I knew I would not be in a relationship with forever, and singing about like having to see them with someone else in the future while they're currently with me. I don't know, these crazy topics of like real life that I guess that I was able to to tackle.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now I also wanted to you wanted to talk about festival culture.
Yeah, for some reason that's been a topic of conversation with me and a lot of my music buddies lately. I just, I was talking to somebody maybe a month or so ago about like the middle level artists, right? Like you used to be like, I don't know, you could make like a great living, like Randy Rogers, for example, right? Like he makes a ton of money. He's got a bunch of endorsement deals and commercials and all that stuff, and makes extra money on top of the music. But he also hardly leaves Texas, plays up to 10 shows a month, and makes like a ton of money, and he's great. Back in the day, there used to be like a middle level between him and me, where you could sell like 200 tickets a night and just sustain that, you know and now that seems like it's just totally gone. It seems like that doesn't exist anymore. And I guess my theory on that is that festival culture has kind of killed that because, for example, like Hudson Westbrook. I know I keep talking about him, and I don't
Yeah.
really know why, but he's the type of person, in my opinion, that's so talented that he would have gotten to where he is right now without any of the help, regardless. But he would have fit in that middle tier, right? But there's tons of other people who are just as talented as him who, like you said earlier, will never see the light of day or will just keep playing gigs forever to no fans or, to like just bar crowds or whatever. Um, and there's just not this middle period. And the reason I think festival culture has affected that is because people see that as a validation, right? So you get booked on um, ACL, for example, or Born and Raised, or any of these festivals, and that validates you as like, okay, they're cool enough or popular enough or whatever to play that festival. So now I'll go pay to see them play, and they sell way more tickets than the average like middle tier artist would sell, which is great. And like this is not me at all complaining. It's just me kind of like trying to figure shit out because there's no rules and nobody knows what's happening at all times. Um, but I went to go see Taylor Swift last year. I spent probably $4,000 on a vacation to Canada to go see Taylor Swift, and I would do it again because it was awesome. But the same thing there. It's like you have to. There's no like building a crowd anymore. It's like you're either playing to no one or you're playing to hundreds, if not thousands, of people. And so for me to get there now, if I had a bunch of money, I would boost my Spotify streams, which everybody knows you can do now. I would, spend tons of money marketing on Instagram, which I am doing currently, but I would spend way more just to get my followers up and my interaction higher. And then at some point, maybe it would click for people and they're like, oh, he played, Cattle Country Fest in Texas. And so now he's cool. And so now he's going to sell a bunch of tickets. But there's no like organic growth of that. So like you go play in a small town in Texas and it's a free show and you've got your band and 50 people show up. Those people are going to enjoy the shit out of your show, but they're not going to remember you because you're not cool, by the means of like the current music industry. Does that make sense? Am I just
Yeah, I can definitely see it like that, especially when there's a lot of festivals now,
Sure.
and you see a lot of the same names, and they're different. There's some have like different like nuances, and they'll have different genres and stuff like that. But
it's across all genres. I feel like it's the same thing.
Yeah, I definitely could see that. Of
like Tanner Usry, for example. I'm sure you're a fan. I'm a huge fan. I think he deserves everything that comes his way. He's incredible. But like he was grinding it out in Texas, and all the Texas people, like the Texas artists, knew who he was for many years or a couple years. And then he started getting booked on these big shows because like a couple people like took a chance on him, and now he's got millions of listeners and he's got all this success. And it's fucking awesome. But there's no middle ground. So you could either be like Hudson, where you post a TikTok video and it goes viral, and then you're playing ACL and all these other festivals and selling thousands of tickets every time you play, or it's you're staying down here, like where I am, for example, and then you just jump all that. So it's kind of like that overnight success thing, no matter what, regardless if you've been doing it for 20 years or if you've been doing it for 2 months. There's no just middle tier group. I guess as I'm saying this, I'm realizing like people like Brie Bagwell, who I toured with for multiple years, like she's very successful in Texas, right? And right now she's in like South Dakota touring or something. So she's got a career and it's very good and tons of people know who she is. But like she's like the last, and her and that era of artists are like the last ones of like this middle tier success thing. I don't know. It's really interesting to me. I could talk about this sort of stuff all day just because like brainstorming for no reason is my favorite thing to do.
Yeah. I never really thought of it like that, but like, like once, because these festival promos, they go across all the socials, and they have, marketing budgets and whatnot. And when you see a name, like even if you didn't know who it was, like you go and you check them out,
Right.
And I can definitely see like that being an issue. But yeah, I do know what you mean, like being like the middle ground where you can,
like Cody Jinks, right? Cody was playing White Elephant for 10 plus years, being Cody Jinks, and nobody gave a shit. But then somehow something happened eventually and he exploded, right? I guess he wasn't the same explosion as like Hudson, where it just was out of nowhere. Like there was a little bit of a ramp up period, but it was like, over the course of 2 years rather than over the course of 15 years like it used to be.
Yeah. Oh, dude, he someone handed him the rocket and he went to the moon, because my followers were going to his shows and going live.
Yeah.
And there was seats empty, and there wasn't a big crowd. And then just next thing you know, like he's like, "Oh, I'm on tour. I'm on national tour," which is great. Like I like his voice. I have no issue with him. Like we're friends on TikTok, and he just has like that tone. Like you have the same voice as well. It's just very easy to listen to. And because I know a lot of people that'll say like, man, Stapleton can oversing, where a lot of people don't like that.
Sure.
Which I get it, because if I could sing like that, I'd be like, spotlight. I would definitely abuse that talent, but yeah, and it's funny is how to also see like a lot of people, I guess, because he didn't do the grind, There are
Mm.
people who are just like, a lot of people are like, oh, he just copied Parker McCollum. And I'm like,
Are you talking about Hudson?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for
I,
sure.
I,
I don't agree with that, but I see.
yeah, yeah. I don't either. I'm just
Yeah,
like, I'm like, why are you hating on a kid that just somebody
he's
gave him?
badass. Yeah,
Yeah, he's got a great voice. He's got great music, and someone handed him the keys to the Ferrari, and he got in,
right, right.
and it just took off. Like, I'm gonna be mad at this kid living his dreams when you can watch his story and try to emulate it and replicate what he did. You know, like,
Yeah.
what do we focus on now? Like, what did he do? What was the difference? His had something with, hey kid, I'm gonna I'm gonna make you a superstar. So I
Sure.
really feel like something like that came about. Or
I think from the fan perspective now, and I'm not, it's hard for me to put myself in those shoes because like I don't really even attend concerts anymore.
yeah,
But like going back to the festival thing, it's like, whenever I play shows and there's people there every time, whether
Mhm.
they came to see me or whether they just happen to be at the bar or whatever. Um, and there's always people who are listening and like enjoy it and come up and tell me how much they enjoyed it afterwards. But like I think of Treaty Oak, who is awesome, outstanding, like one of the one of the best melodical songwriters I've heard maybe in my life. But their whole thing and the thing that keeps them going, and I'm sure they'd say the same, isn't, I mean, their songs are great and
Mhm.
my songs are also great. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to like separate anything, but the thing that keeps them going is these videos of him getting hit in the face with a water bottle and the mic
uh,
getting knocked off the stage, you
yeah,
know? And there's 1,000 of those on TikTok because the crowd's huge and the people are having a good time and it's all this stuff. Same thing with Hudson, same thing with Braxton, same thing with Shane, all these guys, right? It's all this content being created. But, and maybe this is me just whining, I don't know, but like, people aren't filming at my shows and people like me, and there's hundreds of thousands of people doing the exact same thing that I'm doing in this country. People aren't filming and tagging and reposting videos because there's not a crowd, right? So what I'm getting at is I think the festival culture has taken the emphasis off the music itself and more about the party, which is fine. But
yeah,
it's like the music does not matter anymore because a million people could tell me my song's great, and I don't even need them to because I don't even care. I like my song.
yeah,
That's why I do it, and that's also why Treaty Oak does it. That's also why Hudson does it. But the way that people interact with it now, it's like it has to be verified in order for it to be popular.
yeah. It, I think that's a great point because, like you said, like man, I get worried. Like, man, you can be the nicest guy in the world, but you can only take that so much. Once you get older, like Co Wetzel might have had that mentality when he was younger, but man, when you get older and I mean, you got when you have a $6,000, $7,000 guitar and people are
Right.
throwing stuff at you,
Right. Exactly.
like, and you're mature, and your fans are getting rocked in the head, and you're just like, I would be worried because like I get it. Some bands they're about the experience, that's a huge part of it, and when it gets online and people see it and they're like, well, I want to go do that, and they go and like I get like, are you here for the music, or are you just here just because you used to pitch in high school, and this is the 13th grade, and you're just gonna throw
That's
bombs,
hilarious.
you know what I mean? Like, you're just
Yeah.
there, like,
You have to aim at somebody's head. My roommate said this earlier. You have to aim at somebody's head to hit their head.
yeah, dude, exactly, like, target fixation, and like, why? If you're there for the music, why would you do that? Why
Yeah.
would you want to hit Sam
And
Candy in
like
the
the
face?
shaking beer around in the sky or whatever has been a thing forever. But like, why are people? And I don't. I mean, I'm not. I don't even care. Like if that happened at my show, I would just be like, hey, please don't do that.
Yeah,
But like, I don't get. I don't get it. Like, people, are they spending money to go see Trio just to throw shit at them?
yeah, that's wild to me because I think there are. It's
That's hard for me to wrap my head around.
yeah, in a
How
weird
do you have
way,
that
like,
much disposable income?
dude, that's one thing. Yeah, that but I know like at hardcore shows, but people would like jump on stage to jump off
Sure.
and do that. But man,
But like the guy who crowd killed was an asshole.
yeah, Exactly.
Like, you can mosh and you can swing your arms around and stuff, but if you're going and targeting people, then everybody's going to jump you.
Oh yeah. There would be some control. It would fix itself 100% if
fall
people
on the
like.
ground, people are going to pick you up. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a community thing.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Dude, it definitely is. It's just so with some people that's, some people play for the drinking crowd, and it's crazy because like Sam doesn't drink,
right?
And they have like one of the rowdiest fans. Like, if they were just doing the slinging, no problem. You go to a Gallagher show or back in the day,
got lots of anxiety, but yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, you just wear something you don't mind getting wet, but the actual launching, like you said, that was fixated. That blows my mind. Like, if you truly love the band, I would, if you were just like, whoa, you got in the moment, I would have to make sure I'd have to go find the bus and apologize and be like, here, blast me. I'm sorry. I love you guys. And man, I didn't realize that.
Get me back.
Yeah. Like, let's Ramshambo. But it just, that is weird to me.
It also puts the artist in an impossible place. Like that Braxton clip that went viral a while back, like him saying, we don't do that shit here.
Yeah.
Like that's
not our thing.
You never have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And Sam took it like a champ. He took a minute to recollect and then just like picked up the mic and kept going. And I guess a part of that, my thought was like they don't necessarily encourage people chunking shit at them, but they encourage that thing at the shows. So it would be a little hypocritical of him. But like any human on earth would be mad if they get hit in the face with a water bottle.
Dude.
So it's like he's like, I can't imagine the internal, maybe he just doesn't give a shit, but that internal battle for me would have been like, fuck, what do I do here? Like, I am pissed. I want that guy gone.
Yeah.
I don't know. Wow.
I'd be like, yeah, it's like back in the day when people went to concerts just to shine laser pointers at the lead singer's eyes. It's like, why did you come here? Like, we're here to have a great time. We're fans. Oh, I love him, dude. Well, here you go. There goes your peripheral vision, bud. Love your music.
God. Yeah, some people are just dorks, man. I don't get it. I really, really don't understand that like weird cultural phenomenon that's happening.
Yeah. If you're gonna throw something at me, at least wrap a 20 around it.
Yeah, maybe it was marketing stuff. Maybe it's like all this this Gavin and Zach Bryan shit. Maybe Sam like told the guy to chunk it at his face.
Oh, the conspiracy.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you
played. It's all about marketing these days. Definitely not about the song. So you got to get it somehow.
Oh, dude, I there's got to be people out there doing, because that's one way how you do go viral, is have something happen.
Yeah.
Which is terrible. That like you said, it should be about the music. Like, hey, this song's great. And then it's like it's like the next question is like, okay, here's your Spotify. What's your Spotify numbers? What's your Apple followers? And what's this? And what's your gimmick?
Right.
Like, my gimmick is I make great songs. I have good music. Well, your gimmick, not your music, your gimmick. What's your band's gimmick? I don't know what you mean. Oh, do you people throw stuff at you? You throw stuff at people? Do you jump off the stage? Do you have some wacky antics? And you're just like, man, I just play songs.
Right.
But like anymore, like, it's crazy how you can see like the same video from like the blue check mark of the band, but then you can see like another perspective from someone that was closer to what, and that video's, it's weird how just like they just get these crazy numbers of stuff like that. And it's not fun gimmicks. It's not like Eddie, Iron Maiden, or like a mascot and theatrics like that where, it's.
Yeah, well, it's like the thing that makes me think of the Blink-182 shit, like just the cussing and talking about, all the vulgar shit and just all the like playfulness and stuff. And like that was new and fresh and that worked for them. but then like everybody else can't do the same thing. So then people have to get extra creative, and I don't know. It's just so interesting how everything's evolved.
Yeah. And dude, if you're like a thinker, it'll keep you up at night of just, just like how do we stay relevant with staying true to like what as being an artist,
Right.
like it's got to be frustrating
Yeah.
because, like you got into it for the music side of it, and
Right.
now like it's switched. But I do like I had Braxton on, and I did tell him, I said I really like he hired a social media guy like to follow him, and it's really cool to see like how he interacts with his fans like off
Yeah.
stage. Of
Totally.
he's funny,
Mhm.
he interacts, and just signing the hat and doing like the one liners and everything, and
Right.
him like being like, hey, Braxton Keith, we don't put up with that kind of thing, and walk
Yeah.
off. And
Yeah.
it's cool to see that side because like like I really like stuff like that where you can see like Brie Bagwell. She's another one where she had like the aerobics of how to deal with creepy fans. Stay
Right.
away, and you because I had her on the podcast, and when you see pictures of her, as an artist, you just stare.
Mm.
You don't know if she everybody I've ever met is nice, but you don't know if she's nice or whatnot. It's really
Sure.
cool to see like, oh, she's going to be a great conversation. She's funny,
Yeah.
and Courtney Patton the same way.
Right. Yeah.
Hilarious
She's
socials.
one of the funniest though. She's like she should be a comedian.
Absolutely, it's how
We were at,
fast she is
we were at a
amazing.
festival. I was with Bree at a festival in New Mexico a couple weeks ago, and we were like sitting there eating, and everybody was done, and she literally just came up to our table and picked up all of our plates, like the waiter or whatever, and was like, "Anything else I can get you guys?" And then straight up walked into the kitchen
Yeah,
with the plates. It's like,
I
holy
saw
shit,
that.
you're crazy. You're out of your mind.
Yeah, I saw that one, and then I saw her. I think it was Bucks where she's like sweeping the floor. She's like, "You'll never work a day in your life if you work here." And she's sweeping stuff up. Yeah, it's stuff like that. Like that part of the music and stuff is,
Fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is funny. You get to see like who's the person you want to go meet and whatnot, and
Yeah, and I guess I don't know. It keeps coming back to this imposter syndrome thing. I don't spend all day thinking about this imposter syndrome, but I was just thinking about like my struggles with content, and like I'm staying on top of it lately. Like I've been pretty good about it, but I've been like trying to show off my personality in ways that I like
yeah,
feel like I don't know how to. I feel like I'm a pretty bland guy, right? Like I have experiences and I have things to write songs about, and I'm talented or whatever. Like I can write a song,
hmm
and I can play 3 chords on the guitar. But like outside of that, like I don't do a lot. Like I like watching good TV shows, and I like lately I've been fishing. But so it's like, how do I like make this interesting? So what I started doing recently was in Texas, we've got Buc-ee's, of course, but then we've got all these spin-off Buc-ee's, like all these like fancy gas stations. So I go in and review these gas stations, and it's like a minute long video or edit or whatever. But like my criteria for the gas station is basically if they have yellow vitamin water, which nobody on earth other than me drinks. I just love it for some reason. Topo Chico and Zins, right? Those are the 3 criteria. It's like you get a 10 or a 0 basically if you have those things or you don't. And like they're not going viral. It's people are interacting with them and they like them, but it's crazy how much effort we have to put into like showing off our personality, or at least maybe
yeah,
it's not. Maybe it's natural for some people, but for me, it's actually hard. Like I do think I'm like a unique person in the way that I like think and like handle situations and stuff like that. But like beyond that, it is difficult for me to like show off anything unique about me other than the music itself, right? Because that is truly what makes me unique. Is that like this is the life I've chosen, you know?
yeah.
So I don't know, side rant, but it's been kind of fun, like trying to show off my stupid quirks in weird ways.
Yeah. Well, this is another great way. Just
Yeah,
just talking, but
just
yeah, like
talking for sure.
like
Yeah,
I get it. Like I see some people on TikTok like walking through the airport, like, "Hey, we landed here in Texas, and we're gonna go." And I can't do it. I go to so many shows, and people are like, "How come you didn't take any video?" And I'm like I don't add anything to it. I don't
right, right.
understand. I can't. I get why people Like I never really.
Real quick.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one thing with the phone. The phone will die. Lovely Reverly's in here. What's up?
Sorry about that.
It's all right. I should have told you it eats the battery.
We're good to go.
But yeah, with my videos, I didn't really realize that people listen to music differently. And when people are like, I've listened to this song with my dad or my parents, and I grew up and I never heard that sound that you're talking about. And he goes, I never knew there was a cowbell in there. And I'm like, I didn't even hear any of the lyrics before I hear anything. I'm trying to get a little bit better at it. So I get why people like watching that, because they get to listen to it through somebody that doesn't hear the lyrics, where like they may never have heard the music. But I'm not like one, like I play guitar probably like 2 hours a day at least, and sometimes 4. And people are like, why don't you go live? Why don't you do this? And I'm like, it'll take away from like what I'm doing, and it's just weird, like I'm not like I could never be like, I have one of those vlogging cameras. It's really nice, and I got the thing. I could definitely like that whole like my day as a country guy listening to as a metal guy listening to country, and it was just I couldn't never do it. There's no way you'd see me. Maybe
it's now, man. I mean, I guess it's just vulnerable in the same way that making music is. It's just it's like, I mean, it's also new. Maybe that's what's so weird about it, is like, it's like a new thing that didn't exist 10, or I guess now 15 years ago. Yeah,
that's like I was
doing it at some point.
Yeah, 100%. That's I was talking to Leaf Shively, and he says, "Man, I kind of miss the mystery too." Yeah. He goes, I was thinking Led Zeppelin was in their house having huge parties and all these substances, and come to find out, he's probably just like watching Matlock, like something completely boring. He's like, sometimes I don't want to know what my rock star buddies are doing, because I've had a lot of heroes when access to like video and when music became popular in the media, to hear them outside of a stage. And I was kind of like, I heard some people talking, I'm like, oh my God, I wish I never saw that. Like, I can't, and it's weird. It's just weird sometimes how it can have the opposite effect. But yeah, dude, we've been talking for an hour and a half. Did we miss anything? I just looked up. I was like, wow.
I don't think so, man. I mean, we
talked
about a lot. I'm happy to do another hour and a half.
Yeah, it's funny. Like that has happened before. I just wanted to make sure, because man, I'll have all these talking points I'll never bring up.
That's great though, man. That's what it needs to be, and like, kind of going back to the vlogging thing, like you're talking about, you're great at this, and that's what people want to see, and it makes sense to me, because like the radio thing, I just got back from radio tour, right? So I guess that's another thing I can talk about. I put out my first single to Texas radio right now. But I was on radio tour for like 3 weeks, and every interview, I love all the people I met, and I knew a ton of them already before, and they're like some of my favorite people on earth. But because of the format, those conversations are the exact same every time. So it's like I would just go in, I could be asleep, and answer the questions the same way every time. I was kind of like challenging myself to take different approaches to the responses for each one, just to change it up a little bit. But I don't know, that's just what's so awesome about podcasting. I still produce Breeze podcast, OnlyVans.
I love that name.
Yeah, it's fun. And that's kind of what brought me to Texas country. Was I got hired to start a podcast called Texas Toast like 4 years ago.
Okay.
And so we did 2 episodes a week on that. And that one was like 30-minute episodes. So it was a little bit short format still, but it was still a little bit more personable. And the host was a former radio host. So she struggled a little bit with like making it more personable rather than just like a kind of bullet point, like, let's move to the next topic. Let's move to the next topic. So I don't know. I guess I love podcasting. I love conversation. And obviously most people do nowadays. So it's really nice to just be able to like talk to somebody and have a conversation, about whatever comes up.
Yeah. I like how it's funny. Sundance Head like did his schedule, and he put like, Yeah, podcast,
Oh yeah,
OnlyFans, and she was like, "It's OnlyFans."
that was funny. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I think he. I can't. I think he said normally somebody else was making them. I may be mistaken, but yeah, he said he didn't even realize it was a typo until she told him about it during the episode.
that's so funny.
Yeah,
But yeah,
easy mistake.
I love how she does them,
Yeah,
and it's pretty cool. Yeah, they're like talking to her, like to find out her mom was on the team that prosecuted Ted Bundy, and
I didn't even know that. Bree's one of my closest friends. I've never heard that.
yeah, her mom was involved in a legal team, and he touched her shoulder and commented on her looks.
What?
Then they put him in in the prison, and he escaped. And that could you imagine? Like he's the devil.
Yeah.
And I forget. We were talking about just like random like crime shows and whatnot, and she just dropped that. And I was like, what? And I was like,
crazy.
Yeah, her mom was on the legal team that put him in jail.
Her mom's a badass. Actually, both of her parents are fucking awesome, but her mom's a badass, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
That's cool. Wow.
Yeah, I guess they put like a cop at her house because my God, he got out. Could you imagine? Like, yeah, that was really cool. She was walking to go to dinner. And then she all the way up until she walked into the restaurant. She's like, "Okay, we're gonna go eat. It was good talking to you." That was one of the ones where I was like, that was a lot of fun. You know?
Yeah.
Where it's all of them have been good. In the beginning, it was more kind of like question format, and like I said, like I'd be watching some other things and be like, "Man, they're just saying the same thing." I was like, "Man, you just have a conversation, like who knows where to go." And I don't know, I just kind of like you just learn like different stuff. But
Your clips are awesome too. You like I've recently been seeing all this clips with Sunshine from that episode, and it's just fun seeing those people talk, like especially people that I've met before, and like hearing their stories and stuff. It's so much more entertaining to me than hearing like I got my first guitar and second grade.
Yeah, it was great to finally meet up with him because I've been trying to get him on for a while, and I used to complain. You see Shane Smith, and the first thing was like, "Where's Sunshine?"
Yeah,
and he'd just be like, "Dude, I don't know," or like Corey, And finally, I could be like, "We can have a conversation too now," because like the first time they showed up, I was amazed there wasn't more people in the band. I thought it was going to be like a big band type deal, and to find out like, because I never really got into that. They call it like shoegazer, where like the guys had the big pedal boards,
right?
But he didn't have a gigantic pedal board. That blew my mind as well, and I never realized like he pulled me aside and we're building a Sweetwater cart, and I'm like, this is all you use. The same with Tim Lightyear. Like he got down, I'm like, dude, I have that pedal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's amazing that you can take, because it's not an expensive pedal. I thought for sure Tim would have made those sounds with Strymons.
Fingers, man.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, I think I have no excuse. It's, as a guitar player, like who doesn't like gear, But
man, I guess I'm an oddball in that situation. Like I've got a couple pedal boards, right? And I used pedals in the rock band more. But I just I don't know why. It's like I played drums originally, and then just was like, I want to write songs. So I picked up a guitar and I learned a couple chords, and then now I know a couple more 15 years later. But for whatever reason, I've just never felt excited or motivated to get good at guitar. Like if I sit down and listen to a guitar solo that I want to play, I can take 2 hours figuring it out. But I've never wanted to do that for some reason. I just maybe because I've known the first dude that I started playing music with, his name's Clay Melton. He was a guitar prodigy. Picked up guitar when he was 8 years old and figured out how to play Voodoo Child that day. So maybe that was I'm never gonna be that good. Yeah, and I'll always know Clay, so I could just hire him to play.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird to me because John Mayer's my favorite, and he's the best guitar player ever. Or arguably.
Yeah.
But I've never felt motivated to learn how to play Neon, just because that shit's really hard, and I can just play a simple version and sing it, and it still sounds pretty good.
Yeah, and no matter how good you play it, no one's gonna like it. They're always gonna knock you down a couple pegs and be like, no one can play it like,
Yeah.
which I get, but yeah, I still need to do a deep dive on John, and I love his tone. I think the guys that have control like that over every aspect of playing, like,
Yeah.
because I'm like all my show guitars, everything is gaff taped down. I don't want to touch anything. I just everything's set to
you're
10.
not like switching pickups or anything?
I have a Silver Sky, his model. I have to switch pickups because I have to get the 60 cycle hum off.
Gotcha.
But other than that, if I'm playing a lead, I'll go to the neck. But man, some of those guys that do the tone and all that, I have major respect for, like Eric Johnson and John Mayer and all those guys that work. They're so like they're like delicate with it and super precise. And I respect it, but I don't have nuances do not bother me when I know I like no one cares. The places I'm playing, no one cares. I can go in there and be the greatest guitar player they've ever seen. They don't care if the singer is awesome. The singer is the man.
Yeah.
You're just
sucks.
Yeah, you're just the driving rhythm.
Yeah.
That's like the one show. It was the first time I played with him, and it was actually the first time I actually listened to country music. He was a big country guy. I think he had like 4 million Spotify followers at the time, and he came up and he's like, "Hey man, I guess you're my guitar player," because I was playing at the venue, like out in the parking lot. I said, "Man, I'm having an issue. This first time I ever heard of this artist and this song." He's like, "What song?" And I was like, "George Jones. He stopped loving her today." And I said, "I feel like he switches the capo. They can't make it." He was like, "Oh, you don't know who George Jones is? You're my guitar player?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "I'll make it work. I got a Fender Twin on my Kemper. We're gonna be good." But like, yeah, like nobody. I thought I did well. I played.
Sure.
I played my own take because, man, I've played note for note for these songs for years, and I've been finding myself watching people that do that but add their own, and I'm a huge fan of that. Like if you play a cover song and you guys are playing like respects to the original and showing your own, I really like that.
A little bit of both, yeah.
You can kind of hear, like, especially like with like your music, like you can hear influences from like a bunch of different things, and I really like that. And a lot of times, with a cover song, you can see that a lot more, because like when you're out somewhere, and it might be like the third time you've heard their songs, or even like 10 times if you're
right.
You know what I mean. But if like Cody Jinks covers "It's a Long Way to the Top" if you want to rock and roll.
Oh, does he?
Dude, it is so good. It made me fall in love with the song again, and I like he covered that.
Thought it was his.
Dude, he owned it. It was so badass. I remember being like, I love the song, but I've never seen AC/DC live, and like, man, I'm happy with. I've never seen AC/DC do it because they crushed it, and it was like, man, it was so good. But you get to see how they play it and how it's still in the style. Cody Jinks, and I was like, man, this is really cool, thing to see. Because I'm pretty sure he said it was his first concert when he was like 12, and like the connectivity of that with his memory, and then like the first time I saw him do it. It's cool how like that moment became like my moment of seeing him cover it for like, because I don't think I've ever seen anybody cover that live. But it's like. It's like it's not a complicated song, but if you got a bunch of guys that are digging in,
right?
But do you have any covers that you try to incorporate? Like if you ever have like a crowd where you're like, dude, we gotta reel these dudes in.
I've got a medley that I put together of some like early 2000s country songs that usually works. It's like it's a Keith Urban song, a Kenny Chesney song, a Brad Paisley song, a Tim McGraw song, and then an Alan Jackson song, all kind of like crammed into one song. And yeah, that usually works. There's a couple covers that are like deep cuts, like just songs that I love that aren't like super popular songs. And I just really lean in vocally on those. And that'll usually like get people's attention. One of them I end every show with for the most part is called California. It's by a band called Jamestown Revival. They're like a Americana band from outside of Houston. But yeah, I mean, I play a lot of covers. You know, it's interesting because like thinking about this new the songs from the Canyon record, a lot of the gigs that I'm playing, I can't play those songs because people aren't quiet enough. You know, like that Santa Fe song is so chill and like heavy that like if I have 10% of the room listening, whenever I start it, nobody's going to be listening after that song because I'm just going to lose them. Like a listening room environment or whatever, I could just only play those songs and that'd be awesome. And people would probably be like really fucking locked in, which would be ideal. But, I just try to keep the energy up, man. I just try to have fun with it. I'll play a mix of covers and originals, and I've got lots of upbeat stuff that I've written. The newer stuff is all leans a little more upbeat, a little more, rocking. Yeah, I think I've kind of brought that over from the rock side of things as well. Like our show is very high energy. Like the drummer is very electric. The guitar player is very dynamic. I'm jumping around on stage. You know, there's no semblance of George Strait on my stage. You know, we'll cover a George Strait song, but it's not going to sound like a George Strait song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're definitely running around.
Yeah, I move around a little bit.
Yeah. I always love that. It's always fun when you could see a lead singer get in the moment and forget he's got to sing and he's nowhere near his mic.
Yeah, that happens to me at least a couple times a show for sure. I gotta run up and I smack my mouth on the mic for sure. I just try to have fun, man, and that's how I enjoy it. You know, it would be hard for me. I have to play songs that I'm just not enjoying to like stand still on stage.
Yeah.
And I totally get that. Like, that's not for some people. Like, some people want the singer to be focused on the microphone and standing there and singing their heart out. But like me jumping around and like having fun and like going up to my guitar player and like jamming out right next to him or like jumping up on the drum riser with the drummer, that motivates me to sing better. You know?
Yeah.
It motivates me to like try harder. So if that's not for you, then I totally get it. But you probably won't enjoy my show that much.
Yeah. It's such a cool way to connect with the crowd. But like you said, like there's some people that it blew my mind when they genuinely hate that. Like they want.
I mean,
like,
hey, I love ZZ Top, but I don't enjoy seeing them live.
Yeah.
I mean, they do a little bit of that boy band stuff you're talking about. I guess that was pre-boy band. Maybe they got that from them.
Yeah.
He's George Strait, but he just stands there, you know. And to me, that's just not that entertaining. Like that's not any different than just listening to the record at home for free.
Dude, exactly. And the one, I don't know who it was. I think I do remember who it was, but I don't want to like. It was like, it just two guys. You know, they're just miming the chords, and I'm like, "There's a band. They're in the darkness in the background." Yeah. And that was like one of my first introductions to like a country live thing, and I was like, "Oh no, no, no!" Like I want to see the guitar player like. I want to see his fingers move, you know, like I want to see the drummer. Is he like, yeah, that really made me angry. I'm like, you're being propped up. You're not even playing those guitars. And it was just like, just another like terrible thing for, you know, and the next thing. And I'm like, you're not even going to introduce your band. I was like, that's it. You know, it was like my typical bro country type deal.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, yeah, it's just not for me. I like, you know, I like when I love the 80s and the 90s, you know, like there was like risers and platforms where your artist came out and just, it was a theatrical thing. And there's just some people that's just like, you stay there and I will stare at you, fixate it. And I just not a fan. I'm not saying you have to do like backflips and whatnot, but like, you know what I mean? Like when you're running around, you're like, I love seeing when a band gets along, it's very fun to watch because I've seen like we're just here because we're getting paid kind of deals, and
you
it's
can
just
always
like
tell for sure.
yeah, and it's like, am I playing the 135 on this, or like
right?
Oh, I got my my sheets here, which of course I do because I need to stare down because I'll forget EADGB, like
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, but yeah, like when a lead singer walks over and just you can tell that he's digging what the guitar player's doing, and he's just rip, go at it. Let's do this, and yeah, playing to the crowd. It's just it's what I paid. It's what I paid for, the experience.
I've noticed this funny thing where, like, whenever somebody comes and takes pictures at a show, if I'm playing solo, there's never a picture of me smiling in any of the pictures. But if I'm playing with the band, I'm always cheesing. Like, I have a giant smile on my face. And, like, I don't necessarily feel like I'm having more fun when I'm playing by myself or playing with the band. I guess I am. But, like, when I'm playing solo, I don't feel, like, mad or upset or any. Like, I feel like I'm having a good time playing songs that I love. But that is just there's definitely something to that, what you're saying. Like, if I messed up, right? If I miss a chord or miss a word or something, I just look back behind me at my drummer and he is dying laughing at me, and that just brings all the energy right back. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's as a musician, I love the rebound of when that happens.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, man.
Yeah. That's why live shows they'll never be replaced. The human element and just
should I hope.
Yeah, I really don't think it's ever going anywhere. I mean, we're social beings, and that's I mean, music, that's why I call it a heartbeat. Right. It's percussive. Percussion's very uniting.
Yeah, totally.
And I just think like I mean, every culture has a different flavor of music and style and everything. I think it's rooted down. I mean, like seeing animals use tools, that's not as scary if they started making music. You know what I mean? Like you saw a bunch of chimpanzees like like
polyrhythms.
Doing the sugar bleed. Yeah. Like, oh, we gotta watch out,
That's funny.
But yeah, I hope it doesn't go away. It's
Yeah. Only time will tell, man. I'm gonna keep trying.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Now, like with the festival thing, like, do you want to be on festivals?
I would love to be. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to bash anybody who has found success through that. Like I want the same thing. I mean, I have no aspirations of being some huge famous person. Like I just want to be able to pay my bills. Like as vulnerable as I could possibly be right now. Maybe to wrap things up, my goal, my whole entire life, like as long as I can remember, was to pay my bills playing music. And now that I'm doing that, my goal has shifted. I was going to preface that with I'm single recently. My main priority in life is to have a family, whether that's just a girlfriend or a wife or kids or whatever that may be. That's become my number one goal. I recognize in the life that I've chosen that's really hard because I'm never home and I'm broke and all these things. So I don't even know where I was going with that, but basically I want to get to a point in my career where I could support a family to where, my partner could be at home with kids or go do whatever the hell she wants to do if we don't have kids. Right. Cause I feel like that will lighten the load a little bit. And beyond that, I don't have any like serious goals as far as like, I don't care how many people listen to my songs. I don't care how many followers I have on Instagram. Like I'm going to keep trying to grow those numbers and keep trying to get on bigger shows and try to play festivals and try to sell more tickets. But it's just a upward grind for me.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Dude, I think 100%. Like your music's good. And like you said, like you feel like you're stuck somewhere. I would definitely, it's just you're just analyzing the situation.
Right.
I don't think anybody would think otherwise than that. I mean, if you see a bunch of people doing better when they do these festivals, I absolutely 100% would see that. Like you said, like if you're someone that analyzes, does the analytics and just real world what you see, I would
Right.
absolutely, it's cool to do the shows. And like you said, there's some tiers, and I wouldn't want to be just waiting around for it. You know what I mean? Like you don't want
Yeah.
to be the guy like I should have just like, man, like really just kicked open the doors and say, hey, I want to play these festivals. Let's
Totally.
go. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's an interesting perspective because
So,
especially someone like me that's on the outside of,
yeah.
that there probably are a lot of artists that feel the same way that you do. And, is that because the climate's always changing,
Right.
it used to be, you could be sustained in doing this and you were in the grind and everything. And then it's just like, well, now look, the spectrum's shifted over here. So 100%, I think it's definitely, I think it's a great mindset and to analyze the scene and wonder about it because, like you said, like you need money to eat and pay your bills, and
Yeah. And
if that if
keep the partner happy too.
yeah, and if that's the way that the music scene is gone, it sounds a lot easier than taking water bottles to the face. You can you can get on these festivals and people can be like, dude, I love this,
Yeah.
and follow you, and then jump to your shows.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
Something that I remind myself of often, and this I guess could be misconstrued as, or maybe not even misconstrued, maybe it is my ego speaking, but like I, anytime I hit I have like a really bad show or just anything like feels rough, which is not very often these days. Like I feel pretty stoked about my life most of the time. Is that I'm not owed anything. Nobody owes me anything, but I am very deserving of all of it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like
Dude.
I have so much confidence in my ability, in my skill, my talent or whatever, and also my work ethic, and those two things combined to me feel limitless, right?
It,
There's nothing holding me back.
dude, I love that mindset, and I 100%. People sometimes need to get there because I've had people ask me. They said, why should I care about you when I'm just like trying to book shows?" And I would be like, we're the best band around. And I've told people that when they asked, they said, "Are you any good on guitar?" I said, "I'm the best guitar player you've never heard." And they're like, "Wow, blah 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 blah." And I was like, "Do you have a wife?" And they're like, "Yeah, I'm married." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not, because while you were out doing all that stuff, I was
Yeah.
sitting at home playing scales.
Right.
Got 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Whole half, whole half. I said I've dedicated myself to it, and I said I'll be damned if I'm going to tell you I'm okay.
Yeah.
And it makes you go, let's see what this guy can do,
Right.
But because like people will be like, "Yo, I can't believe you said that. You don't really think that." I'm like, no. There's probably a dude down at the other bar that blows me out of the water, but I'm not, I'll tell him that, but I won't tell anybody else that,
Yeah.
You have to have that mindset. Like, dude, like I'm deserving. I've practiced. This is my craft. This is my art. It's my name on that marquee, you
Yeah.
know? I think it's a great way to be. Just when, like, if I came up and said, Kyle Garrett, do you make good music? And he went, I don't know. I don't want to hear that. You'd be like, yeah, I make great music.
Yeah.
Put me
Right.
on your festival.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I love that mindset. I don't think it's conceited or anything, especially like the time and the lifestyle of stuff that, like it's hard and it's a big sacrifice if that's what you want. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and who wouldn't want to get bigger? So you do fly dates, and be home.
Right.
And because that involves more money.
Of course.
That's just how it works,
And
like,
keep in mind, flight dates don't get any easier as far as travel go. They become
yeah,
even more difficult than touring in a truck or a van or a bus.
100%.
Doesn't get any easier.
Yeah. If you just tell the drummer, yeah, we'll meet you there, drive the van. You can't. As a guitar player, sometimes, you can buy an extra seat, and
Right.
anymore, the amps come, the Kempers and the Neurals, they're all this big.
My guitar player now is using one of those little Boss pedals, the modeler, and it's tight. I mean, he uses not a twin, but a DeVille or some other Fender combo normally, but whenever we do like duo shows, he'll just bring his pedal board, and it's like, dude,
Yeah.
it's getting a little bit easier.
Yeah. On the back, yeah, because some
Yeah.
loading all that gear up, that's the worst. When
Right.
load in and load out on the same night,
Yeah.
it's terrible.
Fun, man.
Yeah,
I love it.
you got to.
Yeah.
100%.
Hell yeah.
Because if you didn't, people would know.
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy to tell in most cases.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely, 100%. Well, dude, we've been talking for like 2 hours.
Hey, I enjoyed it, man. Thanks
Hell
again
yeah.
for having me, for real. Nice to meet you in person. I feel like I've known you forever because I've been seeing your stuff for so long. But
Yeah, it's funny. Like after, like if down the way, I'll be like, hey, we've met before, right? I had this issue with Evan Boyer. I was like, have we met? And he just stopped, and I was like, dude, when you do like the podcast and you see like people, it's weird how like it like blurs the line sometimes of have you actually really met somebody or
Right,
if it's
totally.
just, but yeah,
after so many, yeah. And because you like think about having somebody on at one point, or maybe somebody was booked and then they never end up doing it. Totally same thing.
yeah. And I'll be editing this, and I'm gonna see and hear your voice for a long time, over and over and over again.
Are you going to be at the thing in a couple weeks in Fort Worth?
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. I'll see you there. That'll
Hell
be fun.
yeah, dude! I'm so excited. Like Steve was like, "You want to MC it?" I was like, "Oh hell yeah, hell yeah!" I don't. You give me a mic, I'm happy.
Nice.
But yeah, I'll definitely see you down at the Rhinestone.
Sweet, man. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, oh definitely. We've been doing it for the last couple of years, and it's gotten big. Like we were at the White Elephant last year, and there was a ton of people there, and
Yeah.
it had to become like its own thing. And yes, Steve put together an awesome
all-star
roster.
cast, man. So many awesome people are going to be there.
Yeah, a lot of them were there last year, and it was so much fun. It was so cool to see people that were fans of each other but didn't know each other.
Right.
That was really cool. Like when people was like, "You're an American Aquarium. I love American Aquarium," and it's like, I was like, yeah, "That's awesome." You know, artists being fans and getting to meet people with their favorite bands it's just heartwarming. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's great that
totally
we can all get together. So hell yeah, I'll see you there, man.
Rock and roll, brother.
Hell yeah. Well, thanks for taking time out and jumping on and talking.
Absolutely. I'll do it again tomorrow.
Hell yeah. We'll definitely have a round two.
Cool, man.
But yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, you have a good rest of your night.
Sweet. You too, buddy.